Thank you for having a quick word with us, Commissioner Kroes. You've been delivering a fairly strict message here that you think Europe really needs a single market for telecoms. Why have you been so forceful with that message here today?
Because the single market in Europe is our crown jewel, and isn't it a waste of opportunities when we don't implement that in the telecom sector? And what I have in mind is a more effective and a more efficient system in which at the end of the day the consumer is getting the benefits.
And one of the problems seems to be spectrum. You have a timetable for spectrum. Some countries seem to be delaying, holding back. What more action can you take to try and push countries to release spectrum?
Well, anyhow, giving the arguments and also getting the backing of the consumer. For I can't explain to the consumer why the spectrum is dealt with like we did in the former century, and that we are not able to harmonize it in a European way. Anyhow, that the rules are the same. And what we see now is that ministers of finance are taking the big results that they get from auctions of spectrum, and so far so good. Well, in a way, if they would use that result of getting money for investments in high-speed broadband, then I would be in a better mood, so to say. But now, in all the cases, it is spent to just give a better budget outcome that in a way could be a positive result for the citizen, but he will be sooner or later, and I can assure you sooner, he will be confronted with a bill from his telecom operator because he had to pay. And then it will be just seen in the bill for the citizen. And that is not the good way. So we should use it more effective and more efficient. And we should use it in a way that a scarce good indeed should be dealt with.
A lot of these issues are about the spectrum of the moment, but there's future spectrum to consider as well. In 2 years' time in Geneva, there's going to be a big conference on releasing spectrum. Again, some European countries are resisting on that, and there is a proposal for partnership between the private sector and governments. Do you endorse that partnership, that type of partnership, and what could be done again to try and encourage those countries that don't want those kinds of partnerships?
Well, confront them with reality, and also get the consumer, the citizen, in a mood that they are not accepting it any longer. And we have seen that with, for example, ACTA. That is a good example where people, for better or for worse, and not talking about the content, didn't accept what was at the table. And we are talking about spectrum, and that is where we have our asset for everybody. So let's deal with it in an efficient way and not just blocking it because other reasonings are making sense.
And this single market for telecoms, it's something that you've been getting endorsement for from industry groups and industry leaders here in Barcelona as well?
Yeah, we had a meeting, or I had a meeting with the main players in the sector, and they were all asking for a single telecom market, and they were quite determined and were quite pushy in saying we are not in a mood and we are not in a position where time is our friend. We are losing ground. We need to hurry up. So please, Commissioner, act.
Commissioner, thank you very much.